Anthony Hartwig here with a very special interview out of South Range from South Range High School currently. Kaylee Luklan, aka Coach K, joining us today. Coach, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
We brought you on because you were recently awarded, I don't know the name of the actual award, but it's the award for a faculty member that shows the most school spirit in South Range. And that was a no brainer, I think, from everybody that votes for that award. But before we talk about all that and why that's so important to you and the things that you do for this school, I want to go back to the beginning of your career at South Range. What got you into South Range, and when did the Raiders get their hooks into you per se?
Yeah, so Coach Cullen is actually neighbors with my parents, legendary Coach Cullen. He ran into my parents at Handles, actually, of all places, and said, Kaylee should be coaching. South Range is looking for a middle school basketball coach. And I really floated with it. I wasn't sure, if I was going to like it, if kids were going to like me, if I was going to like coaching. I'd always been an athlete, but never on that side of things. I have parents that are officials and coaches, so it was kind of which way was I going to go with things. And once I started, it felt like a home away from home. It was the community aspect. You had people like TJ Irons who were coming in every day to check on me and make sure I was okay and if I needed anything. And it felt like a home away from home from the jump. So it was really exciting to be part of their program.
I mean, before that, did you have any kind of coaching experience or anything like that, or is it just kind of, hey, let's try this out, let's see how it goes?
Yeah, no, I had really never officially coached in a titled position like that. I had done a lot of work with camps throughout my athletic career. And then I also officiated a little bit with my dad at some parochial leagues, St. Charles, St. Christine. So I had some experience there and some experience running some camps, but never the, eighth grade head coaching position. So it was a first time experience for me.
So you go from that, and almost immediately, all these varsity coaches, there must have been something that you pulled because they all wanted you a part of their staff. I mean, it felt like you were always kind of on the bench in basketball, and you eventually got in as an assistant in basketball. Then you were always on the bench in volleyball, then got an assistant in volleyball. Even had a little bit of a stint as the head coach of the volleyball team there for a minute. Um, what was it like to kind of whirlwind go from just someone that's just there getting their feet wet in coaching to all of a sudden you're on the varsity bench, you're helping out all these different varsity coaches, and you're getting to know all these players that from eighth grade all the way up until their senior year.
Yeah, I mean, South Range makes it really easy. I say it all the time. We have the best kids, the best community, the best parents, the best coaching staff. Coach Fischel, Coach Irons, they're so welcoming. They want to see me be successful. So it's just really encouraging to have people like that around who just really want you to do well. And then that, just translates all the way down from seventh grade all the way up. And I'm a gym rat. So from the time I was little, having parents that were coaches and uncles and aunts and just being an athletic family, I've just always felt like the gym is a safe space. It's where I'm the happiest. It's where I feel like I can make a difference, hopefully, in a kid's life. And for me, coaching has really changed my life. It changed the career that I'm in now. It has changed my life. Every single one of these kids that I've coached, I genuinely love and want to see them be successful. And getting to watch them, from seventh grade on is really just a special experience. And it's exciting for me as a coach to watch them grow and develop.
I like that you said because it's a perfect segue. It did change your career path a little bit when you started coaching at South Range. You weren't a teacher at South Range yet. But you got that job. You locked in as a teaching position as the phys ed teacher at South Range. And what went into that decision, and what made you want to not just coach but also teach in this school system?
Yeah, I knew really early on when I loved coaching that it just felt right. It felt like it was what I was meant to do, what I was passionate about. It never feels like work coaching. So it was just something that I really wanted to do. But like everything else, time is always, there's not a lot of time when you're coaching and working and doing all these things. So one of the blessings that came out of COVID for me was that really gave me the opportunity to get my teaching license. And then the timing just kind of fell into place perfectly. I had done a little bit of subbing. I was still coaching volleyball and basketball here. And so when the position opened up, it was just such an exciting time and perfect fit for me to get into South Range and really kind of open a new avenue of getting to work with kids that aren't necessarily in athletics or that I had gotten to work with before. So it was really awesome.
You went from seeing these kids maybe 2 hours a night practice, maybe a game, to seeing them all day, probably all day and all night if you're coach them. What was that like going from, okay, we have a little bit of a relationship, you get a little bit of time with these kids, but now you get to see them not just on the court, but also in the classroom and what their school life is like. How did that help you build relationships with your student athletes and the students, like you said, that aren't even involved in athletics?
Yeah, I think that it's great. I had volleyball girls, basketball girls, the kids that I had coached, popping in the gym to say hello or ask a question. And that's really nice to have that visibility where they can come chat with me about something, whether it's volleyball, basketball, or, school related, anything related. So just being able for them to pop into the gym and say hi was really awesome. And just getting to see them day in and day out and really be, boots on the ground here with them was really awesome. And one of the things that I got really integrated with from the jump is South Range offers a Future Teachers of America program. So I had a lot of high schoolers that were helping out in my gym classes every single period. And for me, that was a really cool experience to get to watch them interact with the elementary kids, which is really great that South Range is a K through 12 building because a lot of other schools don't get that experience. So for me, that was a really cool kind of pay it forward to get to watch them mentor and be role models for the younger kids was something really, really special and cool to me that I got to experience this year as a teacher.
If anyone goes to any South Range sporting event, they'll probably see you there. This is why you got this award for school spirit from a faculty member. You're everywhere, whether you're watching, coaching. I have seen you taking tickets, whatever it takes to get into the school at a sporting event. What's so important about that from your perspective? Why do you make it such an effort to make sure, whether it be basketball, football, volleyball, cross country, name the sport as we're going into fall, but even winter and spring, why is it so important to you to make sure that these kids not only see you in the school but also know that you support them in their non-school activities as well?
Yeah, I think it goes back to I had really, really great influential coaches at South or at Canfield. So Coach Real, his father, who was my eighth grade basketball coach, Coach Pavlansky, that really shaped the type of coach that I wanted to be and the type of person I wanted to be. And they were always supporting everything that we did and doing so much for us that it really influenced the type of person that I wanted to be in this role. And then to come in and have Coach Irons and Coach Fischel and Mrs. Coach Fischel, because she's on our volleyball staff, to see how they embrace the students and the programs. And it felt like such a good experience. And it was really important for me to keep that going from what I had learned previously. And then I just think that we're in a time where, mental health is so important, and being visible and being supportive and believing in these kids wholeheartedly and showing up for things that aren't just my sports and making sure that they know that I care about their happiness and their health. And, I don't care, I love when they continue to play my sports all the way through, volleyball and basketball. But if you find your passion is in speech and debate or choir or the play, how can I support you and how can I show up and just show you that I care about you more as an athlete? Because you know this and I know this, at some point your athletic career comes to a close. And for me, it's like I want to maintain those relationships and those foundations that those kids feel like I cared about them more as a person than I cared about them as an athlete. And that's really how I feel. So showing up for things, I think, just reinforces that I want them to know that I support them and that I want to see them be successful.
Put you on the spot for the next couple questions. First of all, you watch a lot of sports, you coach a lot of sports, you're in fantasy football, your dad obviously refs college football, you coach volleyball, coach basketball, but what's your favorite sport to sit down and watch, whether it be in person or on TV?
So my favorite sport to watch is football. Definitely. I'm a fantasy football girl. And I have to tell you, I was at Taylor Swift on Friday. I met Matthew Berry, who is a ESPN, well, he's now NBC fantasy football analyst. So that kind of made my whole day. But it's a good bonding experience for me and my dad, we do fantasy football together. And I really watching a good football game. So that's my favorite to sit down and watch.
All right, gotta put you on the spot again. What's your favorite sport to coach? Like, what's the one? Like, if you had to choose one, it was end of the line. You can only coach one sport. Which one is it? Volleyball, basketball? Which one gives you the more fire? I guess I would say.
I really, really enjoy volleyball. I'm a very technical coach, so I love tweaking form and making those tweaks that I feel like you get to make in volleyball because it is a start and stop style game. In basketball, it's kind of on the fly. There's not a whole lot of like technical tweaking you can do or positioning or things like that. So I just really enjoy that aspect of volleyball of getting to fine tune because that's where I feel like kind of my strong suit is as a coach. So I would say volleyball, but I love my basketball too, and I love softball. I was a softball player, so I love I haven't gotten into coaching softball, but I love my softball too.
Well, I always joke about it. Like, when are you going to coach softball? You coach everything else in this school.
Yeah.
Coach track for a while, right? You got a
Mm-hmm.
track stint.
Yep.
So that's your favorite sport to coach. What was your favorite sport to play as an athlete?
Volleyball. I was a volleyball girl. I really loved it. It was something that when I started playing in middle school, that it just really caught fire for me. And it was also something different. My mom was a college basketball player, and my dad was a college baseball player. So it was kind of my own section. I could do my own thing and have my own sport that they got into a lot. So it was really something that I loved from the jump. And I just always loved hitting and playing different positions, and I was really just a technical player, and I love that aspect of it.
All right, now we're going to go back to fan Kaylee real quick because you've been to a lot of South Range events, and in the last 5 years, there's been a lot of big moments in South Range athletics, a lot of awesome games. What has been your favorite South Range moment as a fan in the stands so far?
Favorite South Range moment? Wow, that's a lot because that I'm going to say like anytime we get a W is a good one. Well, while I'm thinking about it, I went to Canfield, so anytime we can beat Poland in something, because they were my rival at Canfield, that's always a great experience for me. But favorite as a fan, man, that's tough. There's been so many good ones, and I've been to so many different things. I would definitely say, because this one's really recent in my mind, when South Range was in the regional semifinals and Anna A hit that 2-run bomb, just the excitement that I felt for her, having worked with her in basketball and volleyball, and just seeing the success that she had as a freshman in softball, and getting to watch them in a different environment in that, high pressure, games on the line situation, and to come in so clutch like that. And I just think it was awesome. So really the softball run this year was really exciting to be a fan, to sit there and watch, kids, every single one of those kids I pretty much knew or coached or interacted with. So to see them be successful and go as far as they did was really exciting.
Same question, but now we're going to switch it to the coach's perspective. What's one of the games that really sticks into your memory as one that you were on the bench for that you'll never really forget coaching in?
I remember Coach Cullen always told me you'll never forget the first team you ever coached. And it's actually, they're about to be college seniors. So it's, Emily Irons, Gianna Chicky, their group. And they had come in and they had a little bit of a rough season the year before of, hadn't won very much. And I remember we were playing McDonald, and that was one of their rivals. And Emily Irons had 8 threes in the game. And I'll never forget it because she kept looking at me like, should I still shoot the ball? Should I still shoot? I'm like, yes, keep shooting the ball. You're on fire. They're not going to guard you. And she just kept dribbling up and draining threes. And we laugh about it to this day because that sticks out to me as, my first year coaching. And that's really when, like you said, the hook happened for me, is just to watch them come in and not be confident. And to be hesitant and to watch them grow into confident young women. Even in that one season, it was like addicting. It's like I wanted more of seeing girls come in and really believing in them and wanting them to build that confidence and all of those life skills that, I know as an athlete that I don't, no longer play those sports, but all those things that you learn from athletics. So that first group, just to really see them, and it wasn't a championship season. It wasn't, anything like that, but it really influenced my coaching perspective, and just to watch them grow into the young women that they are now, it was really exciting. So that sticks out to me as a really cool game, is playing McDonald and Emily Irons 8 threes.
All right, same question, but this time we're flipping it to the athlete. Athlete Kaylee, what was your favorite sports memory playing?
Favorite sports memory? I would definitely say, I'm trying to think if I'm going to go with a basketball one or a volleyball one. We had pretty good runs when I was in high school, basketball wise, my junior and senior year. We ended up going to the regional finals, and on that team when I was a junior, I was definitely a role player, and it's something that I talk to a lot of the kids about, is like doing your job the best that you can. But that year, I mean, I had 3 girls that went on to play. 2 went on to play Division I basketball. 1 went on to play Division I softball. So I was with a really, really good group of athletes. So I was a role player, and so we go into the regional finals, and we didn't come out successful, but I really wasn't on their scouting report. And so just being able to have kids, my teammates, support me and encourage me, and I ended up having a really good game that day and kept us in because they had scouted all of the starters, the D1 basketball players. So my coaches had a lot of confidence in me, and it was one of my like higher scoring games during that run. So that was just cool. Even though we didn't win, my teammates were like, "Hey, you got this." So that was cool. And then the next year we ended up going back to the regional. So kind of a back-to-back regional season sticks out to me as a cool experience.
All right, I want to look towards the future before we let you go. Obviously, you've set a lot of goals in your time at South Range. You've accomplished a lot of your personal goals. What's next? What's the future? What are some other bars that you're setting for yourself? Some things that you want to see yourself achieve this next school year?
I definitely want to continue instilling paying it forward in the students that I teach and the kids that I coach with. And I'm also junior class advisor. So to me, it's really, really important. We had a field day this past year that we did with NHS with one of the schools in our community, Fairhaven. So they have special needs kids that they work with. And it was one of the best days of my whole life. So I really want to continue the pay it forward, giving back to the community, getting kids giving back. And they're the best kids, and they blow me out of the water every time we do something like that. The way that they interact with others, the way that they give of themselves. And I really I know that's not an athletic thing or, winning a championship or anything like that. But to me, it's just so important to really embrace that in volleyball, in basketball, in junior class, even within the school, is how can we give back to the community and how can we make other people around us successful. So I definitely want to do more service projects and more, things where we can give back as a team and as a community. So that's a big goal for me.
We can't let you go without giving us a little sneak peek of the volleyball season. I know you're in a volleyball camp right now at South Range, and of course we'll have a detailed coach's corner with Coach Irons as the season gets closer and closer. But give us a little bit of a sneak peek, some things you're seeing, some things we should look forward to in South Range volleyball this year.
Yeah, I joked with some of our seniors before I came in here, and I said I was going to give you guys a shout out. We have a really awesome group of seniors coming in. They are great athletes. They work super hard. More than that, they're great role models. They really want to see everyone in our program be successful. And I think that is the best way to grow a program, when you can set that legacy. And we've had really good groups of seniors. So they're continuing that on of, hey, we don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. We want you to be successful because you're going to help us be successful as a program. So our seniors are phenomenal. They're great young ladies. They're great athletes. And then we have some youth coming in. We have some juniors and sophomores and a really awesome group of freshmen that are coming in that we're really excited about, and the older kids are excited about, but they are volleyball players. They are diehard. So it's really exciting as coaches to see these groups come in that are ready to play volleyball and that they're working their butts off in the summer. And we have probably 15 kids, high school kids, that are here helping out with our youth camp right now. So we're really excited for the future, but I think we have a really good mix of like some senior leadership with some young bucks that are coming in, and they're going to make a splash in the league. So I'm excited.
South Range is Coach K, the only one that matters. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you again soon, and we can't wait to talk to you during the school season as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.